welcome back to my channel. I am Mackenzie. It's so nice to meet you if you're new here or not. Just you guys know that I love you and I appreciate your existence. I know this is definitely the second time you're seeing this exact same outfit this week. I decided to just do 2 videos in the same day. Get everything out of the way. By the way, this is Crystal Light, like sweet tea. Also, I don't know what this piece of hair is doing with its life, but anyway, you guys, I have a lot of sketch stories, so if you've not, I don't know, caught up with my last couple of videos, you also would not have known that I spent the last week at my aunt's and uncle's house, like full week, Monday to Sunday, so boom, full 7 days. And you guys, every night, me and my 2 cousins, Alea and Casey, went to the park. Now, I'm super mad at myself for not filming this video with them, but before I lose everything in my memory and give you wrong information, I thought it would be so good for me to just come on here right now and tell you guys about our story. So every night we did go to the park. Now, nothing serious happened to us. This is just stuff that we witnessed or that we kind of were just there for. Yeah, so nothing insane happened. We were all safe. We all took precautions. We left at like good times and stuff like that. But anyway, so night 1, Monday night, we decided to go to the gas station next to my cousin's house, which is my cousin Casey's house. And she kind of lives in like, not like a sketchy neighborhood, but like there's sketchy people in every neighborhood, and that's the people we were kind of by. And it was like maybe a 5 to 10 minute walk tops if you were like walking slow to this park. And so we stopped at the gas station first on this particular Monday evening, and we get some drinks, and then there's 2 girls in there, and we start walking out. We go separate ways. Well, then we see these exact same girls kind of at a corner on the opposite end of the street, and we're like, oh, okay, cool. And then we get to the park, and they're in front of us walking to the exact same park. They stay there, they talk just like we kind of were doing, teenagers chilling out. And so we call them stalkers, but they weren't actually stalking us. It just seemed like it. But that was kind of like the weirdest of the beginning of that day. We were like, dude, that's so weird, type of thing. And then, oh, okay. Anyway, and then night 2, I don't know if we went Tuesday night. I know we didn't go one of the nights. I'm not sure. But the next night that we went out there, and we go, and all of a sudden we go to the park, and this time we left a little bit later, so it was a little bit more dark outside, but there were still kids that were playing on the playground and stuff like that, because they're a bunch of hooligans. And these group of like guys who are around our age, like 9th grade to senior year, like high school type of stuff, and they're all like screaming at each other because they're just guys, and it's what guys do apparently. And we go to sit on top of like this baseball, like, I forget what they're called, like dugout thing. Anyway, and they start yelling at us. They're like bopping to their music because they have a humongous Bluetooth speaker or something. And then my cousin realizes that they're like doing drugs, like hardcore, and we were like, OMG, what the heck? And we brought our younger cousin this day. She's like 11, and she like climbs a tree, and they start yelling at her to get away from their stuff. And my older cousin, Alea, she like runs over there, and she starts climbing the tree, and she's like, it's fine, we're chill, we're just climbing this tree, we'll leave, and stuff like that. So then we leave. Nothing serious happened, but we stayed there, got eaten alive by mosquitoes. But in the end, everything was fine. Well, it's just the beginning. The very next day, we go back to the park for sketch nights, because now we're just, I don't know if we were just trying to like get a normal day at the park, or if we were just doing it because we're like, what would happen today type of thing. And we go to the park, and everything's kind of chill. It's just us for a while. Like, there was a little bit of some kids there, and I felt really bad for these kids because they were like 11, 12, I think 10 is as young as I would go. But they had like a little brother that was like 7, and all 3 of these little boys were like swearing, like cussing hardcore, and we were just kind of like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe they're swearing like that and doing things like that. Well, then they start beating up the younger brother, and we're like, hey, like, are you okay? Like, you should stop doing that. They eventually leave because it gets late, but we are still there. And this whole car pulls into the parking lot at this park, and a whole group of like TikTok girls and like a couple dudes come out, and they start talking on their phone in circles and doing TikTok dances in the parking lot, and we're just like, okay, anyway. And we just start hanging out, acting like hooligans. I'm trying to climb my fat face up the jungle gym area to get on this weird hammock thing, and all of a sudden this cop pulls into the parking lot and just talks to these people and then leaves. And then as soon as the cop leaves, they dip. Like, they legit just zoom out of that park, and we're like, okay. But this is the kicker. Like 2 minutes before that cop showed up to talk to them in the parking lot, this other kid, this teenager, comes into the park, and he kind of just sees us and sits on a bench, and then he goes over to like the drinking fountain area. Then he comes into the park and starts just climbing around it like we were. And as soon as the cop pulls up, this dude dips into like that slide that's like dark inside, if you know what I mean. It's one of the covered ones, and he's hiding in there. And because we were talking, and we're like, dude, the cop just left. What the heck was that all about? And then we look over, and then the people leave, and he slides down the slide and gets out. And we're like thinking to ourselves, and we're like, it's kind of weird that this guy's like hiding from the cops. And on the way back home later that evening, we were kind of talking about it, and we were like, he's either hiding because he's done something, or he's hiding because he has like black friends with all the riots going on and stuff like that, and just, we don't really know. But anyway, continuing on. And he comes out of the slide, and we start talking, and he's really chill, and he kind of just ignores us for a while and is just listening to us be weirdos at this park. And then all of a sudden, my cousin who's up on the hammock thing, next to Alea, looks over and is like, dude, what is that guy doing? It's like this old guy, like, smoking a cigarette out in like the street lamp at this park, okay? And we're going, and he starts like yelling over at us, like, hey, are you there? Like, what's up? And we're all kind of looking at each other like, freaking that's strange, we don't know this dude, like, what's going on? And we're kind of getting ready to like dip and leave like the back way to get to her house, because we're kind of like, stay here with that. And then all of a sudden this kid is like, hey, yo, any of you got money? And we're like, no. And he's like, oh, okay. And he's like, well, I'm gonna leave. And the guy heads back to his house, and he dips and goes out a different way. And I'm like, anyway. And then we leave. Well, yesterday, Saturday night, final hurrah, we're going to the park. And it rained. And so, like, no kids are there. And I don't know about them, but to me personally, I was like, yes, we'll park to ourselves. We can be loud as we want. Like, OMG. And then, out of the blue, we just hear, like, screaming. And at first, we're just kind of like, any freaking way. And then we realize things are serious. I'm not going to go into too much detail, because it's definitely not my place to say. But things went down, and we almost called the cops, but someone did before us. And, like, 6 cops show up to this house, and like things go down, and we were like, okay, cool, whatever. But we're kind of watching at the park silently, because like we're just like, this is insane, like I've never seen this. It's like TV stuff. And basically, like, the people who lived at that house tried to like dip from the cops, and we're sitting there because we're seeing it, and all of the cops are at the front of the house and they don't see it. And so my cousins, they're sitting there talking, and they're like, dude, the car be dipping. They be dipping hardcore. And we look over, and I don't think the cops like really noticed, because they were talking to someone else. And so my cousins and me kind of get a little bit louder, and we're like, dude, like, that car is booking it. And they like turn over, and they see, and they run, and they bring it back, and all this stuff went down. But simultaneously, there's a sketch truck sitting in the parking lot. The one person who's in there or whatever doesn't come out of the truck, so they're just kind of sitting in this truck, and we're like, anyway. And then this white van pulls in, and just all of these boys come out from like maybe as young as 7th grade to high school, because a kid was driving. Just jumps all of these cars from the truck, from the van, and they're all sitting in this humongous group next to the drinking fountains just talking it out, man. And all of a sudden they start playing like tag and Ghosts in the Graveyard, and we're like, dude, what the heck is going on? I've never seen this. And then they just kind of start talking, and then we just kind of leave, but we were like, dude, that was insane. Like, even all this stuff went down. I left out a lot of details, but things went down, man. Things went down. And those were just some of the sketchiest things that went down when we were over at our cousin's house. Like, adventures at the park, like, from stalkers to druggies to weird, like, people, and to 6 cops showing up at a house, but like, things were getting insane, and I was like, anyway, that was like the weirdest time I think I've ever really had there, which has, but cool. I know a lot of like minor things happened, like, Alea, like, got almost kicked out of Smith's because she hid in the toilet paper aisle and made like a teepee fort, and like this employee was going around talking on like walkies and stuff about her, and like followed her back to us, and basically everyone just was watching Alea because she like hid in the teepee aisle. She was like, I thought I was gonna get kicked out, and stuff like that. But if you did not see my other 2 videos, or if the 3rd one isn't up yet, I don't know which number this would be, but all of those videos are videos basically. So one of them is a haul of all the stuff I got last week. There's this one that happened last week, and then there's just another bonus video because I was bored, which is in the same outfit. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed my sketch stories that happened last week. So yeah, peace.